A warm welcome to the program and thank you for joining us. Now, it is one report that is revving up huge reactions. And now aid group Oxfam International says Africa is losing $50 billion yearly from illicit financial fraud. Oxfam Pan-Africa Program Director made this known while reacting to the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists, ICJI's report on how Mauritius siphons tax from poor nations to benefit elites big business, depriving governments across the globe money that they need to address poverty and invest in infrastructure and health and other benefits.
According to this Oxfam report, Mauritius, located in the Indian Ocean, has become a financial power in its own right, offering asylum to the richest and most powerful who seek to avoid taxes in complete discretion. The real scandal is that, like most tax avoidance schemes, the system in place in Mauritius is completely illegal.
With us now from Nairobi, Kenya, is Program Director for Africa, Oxfam International, Peter Kamalingin. Peter, a warm welcome to you. Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us on the program. So the news is out there, and it's all over the place. Multinational corporations are using the tax haven of Mauritius to avoid paying millions of dollars of tax across Africa. Could you share more light on this for us?
This report that ICIJ has released is definitely an important contribution to the general discourse, because this is a subject that is so important and yet not very much in the domain of an average African citizen. But as anybody who has seen the report can understand, that this is a very critical issue that should be of interest to any African leader, because it's an area that is probably could do free a lot of resources for the development of the African people. Particularly on this report, it's clear that Mauritius is aiding multinational corporations to avoid paying millions of dollars of tax across the continent, particularly in two ways. Number one is what they call treaty shopping, and the second one is profit shifting. On treaty shopping, as you know, Mauritius has concluded a very aggressive tax treaties with many African countries. And these tax treaties reduce withholding taxes on payment of interest, royalties, and technical fees. For average person, that simply means for every investment, normally governments are expected to tax corporates for what they call withholding tax, or if they are paid some fees, or if there's interest on any investment that they are making. It is normally expected that the government that is hosting that investment accrues that revenue from the corporate.
In your report, you said most tax avoidance schemes is completely legal. If they're legal, then why should people be worried?
It is illegal, but it is not fair. Because as I said, as an example, you will recall that even slave trade that Africa suffered for many centuries was legal. Apartheid in South Africa was legal, but was it right? It was not legitimate. It is wrong because Africans are losing billions of money. In the high-level panel on illicit financial flows, they said that Africa is losing up to $50 billion a year through these illicit financial flows. As an example, I think as an example, the money that Africa loses through these illicit financial flows every year could put 4 million African children in school. All African children in school, and save at least 4 million children of Africa every year who die because of lack of health care. So this is an important issue, legal or not. It is a very important issue that has a direct impact on the lives of African people, children. And it definitely requires a sovereign decision by sovereign states to secure the interests of the African people.
So, Peter, based on this report, what do you think the continent can do, to address the situation?
The African governments need to work together collectively. And I think the African Union, the regional economic communities, whether that be ECOWAS or SADC or East African Community, all these important bodies that are involved in regional integration of the African continent, including, of course, the CAFTA framework, should be able to work together to see what is the need for us as Africans as an African continent. What should we do together in order to maximize and leverage as much revenue as possible? Because as you know, Africa has related with the rest of the world for so many years, but this relationship has been one that has made Africa poorer and the rest of the world richer. It is not fair, it is urgent, it is probably, as I said yesterday in some other platform, it is the most urgent humanitarian crisis that should be the priority of every African leader today.
Well said, Peter, and it is on that note that I'd like us to leave it. Thank you very much for speaking with us. Thank you. Peter Kamalingin, Pan-Africa Program Director for Oxfam International, speaking to us there about what has been generating a lot of reactions about what is known as the Mauritius leaks.